Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mystery Sports Podcast. Benjamin Sesko, you absolute saviour. Benjamin Sesko has saved Man United from looking like an absolute bottle jobs, really. I'll be honest. That's the best way to put it. United come draw the game 1-1, thankfully, from Benjamin Sesko with his superb finish. We'll get on to that in a second. But you know, I was getting ready to do this match reaction. United losing the game, losing out on the chance to go third place. But we got to stay positive, haven't we? Really, we're still unbeaten under Michael Carrick, and there's always a positive aspect for it. And I'll go through all of those points. And yeah, we'll just go through the game and what I made of that game. So I think first half, really, it was sloppy from both sides. West Ham weren't that good. You can tell they're a relegation side, like battling for relegation. I think Nuno, we got to give credit to Nuno Espirito Santos. He definitely looks like he's got West Ham doing something good. And, defensively, they were solid. They were really hard to break down. They didn't let Bruno have the space. Ahmad and Buemo just wasn't in the game. I know obviously Buemo getting the assist for Shesko's goal, but Cunha wasn't involved in the game, and it was one of those games where it was kind of made for a number 9 to just go and get you a goal. You put crosses in, and that's obviously what we United did to get the goal, to obviously save a point. I just think in terms when United are playing the low block, for example, the low block like West Ham, you'll probably see it against Nottingham Forest and other teams who aren't as strong as United. And when United dominate the ball, there was just no cohesion today between Cunha, Ahmad, and Buemo. And it just begs my point that I said. I didn't say it on here, and I wish I did. I said it to one of my mates, and I was like, I think United, when we have to play these low block teams and we're putting crosses in the box, Shesko's got to start. I know if you look at the preview, I've said they keep the lineup the same. I think that was the right decision because I didn't know that this game was going to end up like this. But from viewing this game and for further games in the future, I think Man United now, when you're playing the teams like Forest, West Ham, obviously we've played West Ham twice now, but we've still got to play Forest. We've still got to play like Palace and things like that. I think United have to play Shesko, putting those crosses into the box. Xerxes nearly scored, and obviously was very unlucky. And obviously putting that cross in the box from Mbeumo and Shesko scores a fantastic goal from it. I think we've got to do that. Whereas when we're playing like the Chelsea, the Liverpools and stuff, where we know that they're going to give us game, then you play Ahmad, Mbeumo, Cunha because of the pace and the counter-attacking ability from them and the clinical edge of that. But when we're against the lower blocks, you got to play Shesko. Also, in the first half, I just think United had to be a bit more creative. It was just kind of we were lacking that kind of enthusiasm. I think it was only up till the 80th minute that we only had one shot on target or something. It wasn't good reading. It didn't look like It looked like West Ham were the better team. And to be fair, you could probably argue that they were, but both sides weren't like amazing. They were kind of like it was a bit. It was a poor game really in the first half, and then you know as soon as West Ham get the goal, the game opens up a bit. Fair play to Souček for getting the goal. Brilliant run forward. Mainu probably could have done better. I think he should have done better. Is that Dad? Might be. Hi. I think that should put me off. I think in terms of okay, in terms of West Ham's goal, I thought it was probably they deserved the goal really because they looked better in the second half. They came out stronger than United, but I think United responded well after that. We had Kobe, obviously. I think Mainu put in the cross for Casemiro, with which his goal got ruled offside. It was probably tough. You had a couple of chances, obviously, from Bruno and Mbeumo, who the passing wasn't there, wasn't it just didn't like I said it before, it was there were the cohesion between the front three in Cunha, Embuemo, and Ahmad, and obviously Bruno as well to make the front four wasn't there in the game, and we just couldn't see that. And then we get the goal through Sesko. Great goal, moves him on to 7 goals for the season. I think United deserved the goal because we were the last 15, we were probably the better side. Obviously Lenny Yoro making 2 fantastic defensive challenges there, and even Lemons making that save on Callum Wilson. Obviously, I know he's offside, but still to keep United in that, because if it's not offside, then it's going to be 2-0, and that's game over. And then if we just look at the league table, so you can see obviously that point means now United go on to 45 points. So with United being on 45, we go back ahead of Chelsea, who drew today to Leeds 2-2, which was fantastic for us, and great for Leeds, and especially, well, it's awful for Tottenham Hotspurs, isn't it? Really, because they're now 16th in the league, and I think if Forest were to win, they go level on points with Spurs tomorrow, which is ridiculous. United had the chance to go third, outright third, but it's a tough one to swallow because there was so much optimism ahead of this game that United will win and go 47 points, or go ahead of Villa on goal difference. But now we've got to hope for tomorrow that Brighton put in a performance at Villa Park. I think they will. I think Brighton will want to bounce back from a poor result against Crystal Palace at home, and hopefully that either that's a draw or a Brighton win. Obviously, ideally a Brighton win, but I think a draw is more realistic there. And then if we go on to the player ratings, so if we just go on to here, just get back on there. Just stop sharing the screen for a second. Can you see it? Please tell me you can see it. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. So if we look at obviously United's team, oh, I'm in the way there, I think. Oh, mate, this is so annoying. Why do I have to do this? Why won't it let me? What? I can't do this. Bear with me in a sec. This is really annoying. Why can't I move the thing? Right. Well, you can see. Well, I'll move it down a little bit so you can see a bit more of me, the team. So we can make out the team, can't we? There, yeah, that looks decent. Right. So Lemons, I'd probably give Lemons a 6. Didn't really have much to do. Wasn't really tested out majorly. Obviously, he had that one save that he had to make against Somerville, wasn't it? It was just a good save. So 6 out of 10 for Lemons. Shaw, Martinez, and Maguire, I'd probably all give them all a 7. Actually, 6.57. I think it was quite an easy game for the back three. They didn't really have to do much. Well, not back three. Those 3 players. It was quite an easy game for them. They didn't really have to do too much. Shaw wasn't really tested. Bowen didn't really do too much. Martinez and Maguire did what they needed to do. And we look at Delo. I think Delo had a good game. I probably give Delo a 6.5 as well. Probably the whole back four 6.5. I think Delo, in terms of how he played, obviously getting that yellow card was a cynical kind of foul. Didn't really need to do that. And I think with Delo, um, he looked dangerous going forward. He probably could have offered a bit more, so I'd give him a 6.5 as well. I think in terms of defensive unit, United did well, but the only poor thing was the goal that we conceded and how we shouldn't have conceded the goal in that manner. I think Mainu and Martinez probably could have done a bit better. I'd probably put the blame more on Mainu, just because I think obviously Martinez is facing the other way and Mainu can see the ball and Souček running, so Mainu probably could have closed him down better. So if we go to Mainu's rating, I'd probably give Mainu that's his worst performance under Carrick. I'd probably give him a 6. I've usually been giving him 7s or 8s, but I think he carried the ball well today. I just think that one defensive error if he was switched on, I think we don't concede that goal, and Mainu intercepts the ball, and United win 1-0. Casemiro, he wasn't really involved. Scoring that offside goal looked quite a dangerous aerial threat. So I'd probably give him a 6 as well. And Bremo getting the assist. And Bremo was really poor today. I wanted him to do more, and I expected him to do more. So I'd give him a 5. Bruno, same again. He was non-existent in the game. Didn't really see him do much. At the end, he was trying to create chances, putting those balls in the box, but I think it was just a bit too late. And weirdly, apart from that chance where Shaw had where Wan-Bissaka, the snake, has cleared the ball off the line, Bruno's deliveries this game was, I think it was diabolical. There wasn't really anything good about them. He kept hitting the first man, couldn't get it over the first man, and I was just like, Bruno, you're meant to be the best 10 in the world, and you're doing this. So I'd give Bruno a 5. Ahmad 5. Didn't see Ahmad involved really. Didn't really run out the defense, which I kind of wanted him to do. And then Cunha playing 69 minutes didn't do a lot. I think he's quite poor again. So I'd give Cunha a 5. I think that was probably the worst performances I've ever seen from Mbeumo, Cunha, Ahmad, and Bruno. Like, it was really bad. In terms of the substitutes, so if we look at them, so you've got Joshua Zirkzee. I think Zirkzee, very unlucky with his with the header not to go in. I think he was a bit of a nuisance. Did what he had to do when he came on. So I'd probably give Xerxes probably 6. Lenny Yoro, 2 fantastic defensive tackles. I think Yoro was amazing. So 7. And then Benjamin Sesko, he would be my Manchester United player of the match just because obviously scoring the goal, looked like an aerial threat, had a chance where he hit it on the when he cut on hit it on the half turn, and I think the keeper made a good save from that. And his goal was just fantastic. To just get it out of his feet in a crowded penalty area, and as Ali McCoy said on commentary, that's the only place where he can put it, and to smash it into that top right corner. I think that was fantastic from Benjamin Sesko. And then Michael Carrick's overall managerial rating. I think he made the subs and the correct subs in probably the right time as well. And maybe you could have put Sesko on at half time, as an argument for that. There's always going to be an argument on how United didn't win. So I would probably say, it I'd probably give him a 6. Obviously, we keep the unbeaten run now stretching to 9 games. Obviously, that's with Ruben Amorim and Carrick. Carrick obviously does remain unbeaten, you know, which is a good thing. And now, obviously, we have no weekend football. Obviously, we're not in the FA Cup, so we've got a big rest there. And I think, and then there's obviously the Europa League and Champions League playoffs midweek, so we're obviously not part of that. And it's international break. So United next game is bloody hell. When's United's next game? It's a long way away. I think it's the 20. It's the 20. What day is it? The 23rd of February. United play away at Everton on Monday night. Bloody hell! No football for a long, long time for United again. This is mad. This is mad. No football in about 3 weeks, it seems, for United. Hopefully, though, the players can regroup with Carrick, stay positive. We're still unbeaten. We're still in top 4 race. We look like we could get 3rd. If results were to go our way, who's to say that we can't dream of a title race? I'm only joking. We can't dream of a title race. It's a dream. But we come back after the international break, we regroup, and we hit Everton strong and, batter them. We got to win, haven't we? We can't be doing what we did last time against them. We've got to beat Everton, and yeah. But that's everything for today. I think United can be some sort of happy. Obviously, that guy's not getting his hair cut. Tough luck for him. We've got to move on from that. I think it's really sad now, that guy's haircut. We're Man United. We're a big club. We shouldn't be focusing finishing 5 games in a row for this guy to have his haircut. It's diabolical. It's absolutely rubbish for him. I mean, he's getting good content out of it, but that's about it. But back to the game. We we can take positives from it. We've not lost, and now we've got to regroup after the international break, and hopefully no injuries as well. That's a big positive. Get Delit, Mount, and I think Lacey as well got a bit of a knock or something. Get them all back in, and hopefully United can, get top four secured. And yeah, thank you all for watching. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Please also drop a like on the video and share to all your family and friends. Catch you all in a bit.